Hi, everyone. Hi, Peggy, Crystal, Stephanie, welcome. Hi, everyone. Hi, Dan and Elizabeth. Thanks for joining us today. We're going to let folks sort of trickle in for this webinar. There's still a couple more minutes until we get started. But welcome. Thanks for signing up. Real quickly, if you have a chance, I'd love to just get folks to write in chat your name, organization, and what are your highest priority wish list items that you might have, and love to share that. Or I know some folks like to share their LinkedIn or email in case you want to do some networking with other folks that are on the webinar. Feel free to do that as well. But welcome, and we'll get started in a little bit here. Hi, Bethany. Welcome. Thanks for joining us.
Hi, thank you.
Yeah. So I guess I can start here. I'll type in name, organization. It's here. That's what I need, but more of a personal thing. All right. Well, more and more folks. Emily, welcome. Hi, Beverly. Peggy from New Jersey. Always need free stuff. Awesome. Yes, always true. I think you're gonna really enjoy this one. There's Renee and Corey are the experts on how to get free stuff for nonprofits. That's gonna be great. It's gonna be really good. Food Rescue US. Excellent. Welcome. Hi, Annie. Aaron, welcome. Thanks for joining. It's been a while. I haven't seen you for a little bit. Elizabeth, I'm actually in Indianapolis these days, so I'll have to come visit you all at some point. Columbia, Missouri. Jennifer, welcome. Yeah. All righty. Mississippi. Don't know my state acronyms. So, well, as more and more folks trickle in, we'll sort of welcome them to the again. Yeah, folks want to put in their name, organization, and sort of what you want to for your wish list. That'd be awesome. But we'll get started. This webinar is recorded, so you'll all get a copy as well. And so no need to take too copious of notes if you don't want to. And so I'll introduce myself first. My name is Gun Wong. I'm the CEO and co-founder here at Civic Champs. You can see some of my background there. I went to Michigan State for my undergrad, got my MBA at Harvard Business School, and then have largely spent most of my career in tech startups, but this is the first time I have a tech startup in the nonprofit sector. And so super exciting for me personally. Love working with you all. I think it's the most fulfilling, certainly, of my careers. So, and then I'm super excited to introduce a couple of our guests here. So we have first Renee. She went to the University of Minnesota, and she's the director of partnerships of nonprofits and partnerships at Liquid Donate. And yeah, Renee, do you want to just say a couple words and say hi?
Sure. Hi, everyone. It's great to be here. We're really excited to speak to you all today. My career there has taken a few different turns. I started out in forestry and outdoor recreation and pivoted to local government, more on the waste reduction side, and now in tech for good and social impact. And my volunteering, couple of organizations I mentioned there kind of reflect my earlier background. I like being outdoors, and those are two organizations that help me get outside and give back in that way.
Awesome. Yeah, welcome, Renee. Thanks for joining us today. And then there's also Corey. Corey went to San Francisco State University, and he is a program manager at Liquid Donate, but I think you're currently in Los Angeles, which makes sense given you volunteer at the local food bank there. Yeah, Corey, do you want to say hi?
Yeah, hi everyone. This is Corey. I'm very excited to be here and meet you all and share more about Liquid Donate. My career is largely in the tech space. Before this, spent a good number of years with Postmates, the delivery service app where I met the founders of Liquid Donate. And prior to that, bounced around within the service industry in college and such. And yeah, for volunteering, recently got involved with the Los Angeles Food Bank in the area, but looking to get connected with more organizations near me as well.
Gun, I think your audio cut out.
Oh, yes. Sorry. My bad. Still, 4 years later, can't figure out Zoom, right? So today's topic is how to leverage different technology platforms to get free goods for your nonprofit. And so we're actually going to start by covering just a couple different areas, sort of extra freebies, if you will, in terms of things that are free for nonprofits. And we'll do a deep dive on Liquid Donate because that's sort of the highlight for the day. But a few tools that we're really excited about. And so on the left, you have marketing and recruiting tools for when you're looking at recruiting your volunteers. There's Google Suite, right? The whole in terms of Google Drive, Google Calendar, Gmail, all of that can be free for nonprofits as well. And then for physical goods, we're going to highlight Liquid Donate, right? And so real quick, in case you aren't as familiar, Canva is a fantastic design tool, and they offer it for free for nonprofits. So you just have to sign up and apply for that. Here's some examples of things that you can design. Maybe it's a flyer, maybe it's a thank you card or something like that for your volunteers. And it's really easy to use. They have cool tools that make it easy to make your background invisible for like a logo or something like that. You just click a button, it just sort of auto-magically makes that happen. And so they're a really great tool, super easy to use. They have lots and lots of templates. And so if you actually just type in, thank you card or maybe a flyer for a nonprofit event, they'll actually come up with templates for you. And so that's a great tool. And so if you want to get started, there's a link we included in here. So Canva for nonprofits, I believe you validate through TechSoup is the way you validate that you're a nonprofit, but you get Canva Pro for free, which also allows you to share the designs with other folks in your organization. So that's a really great tool. A couple other ones when it comes to marketing and design. Chloe, who's on our team, leads our marketing efforts, but there's great photography or photos you can get royalty free in videos on a site called Pexels. And then there's Unsplash, which is again high resolution images that you can use that are also royalty free, right? And so sometimes you're just looking for like you might not have your own photos sometimes, so these are great tools for that. Then there's Google for nonprofits. I think, Google in general, but a couple of things that I'll highlight. So one is just their workspace. You can sign up here, google.com/nonprofits. Again, I think they use TechSoup to validate. But basically you get you get to use Gmail using your organization's email system. So, civicchamps.com, right? At civicchamps.com, we are on Google. Obviously ours is not free, but you also get shared drives. You can use the calendar service and sort of some of those pro features for free, which is great. There's also an ad grant, and so you can get up to a $10,000 per month for Google ads. And so that's something that nonprofits can take advantage of, especially when you're thinking about recruiting for volunteers. Maybe you create a recruiting ad on Google ads, and you can get some free recruitment from Google. Again, we'll have all of this shared with you, both in the recording, but also we'll share this slide document as well, so you have everything. And then for free goods, super excited to introduce Renee and Corey with Liquid Donate. They're a fantastic platform, totally free for nonprofits, and this is a way for you to get some free goods. So Renee or Corey, do you want to share how you do that?
Definitely. So Liquid Donate is here to make it easy for nonprofits to get free items from businesses and retailers. What we do is we moved overstocked and returned goods from retailers and help them donate it to nonprofits and schools in need. It's completely free for nonprofits to sign up, so you can allocate your donated funds to more critical parts of your nonprofit. And how it works is once you sign up, you're matched with items that you need once those are available on our free marketplace. And just like regular online shopping, you add it to your cart, place your order, very easy, and check out in order to get those free items to you. And just to highlight a couple of numbers about what we do and how we're trying to be impactful. According to the National Retail Federation, 80% of all retail returns end up in the landfill, which is a huge number and a huge problem, especially when those goods are perfectly good to use and when nonprofits need those goods to help fulfill their missions. So we're here to help prevent that waste and reroute those goods to those in need. To date, we've moved over 4 million items, which is really awesome. We're about a 1.5-year-old, so still pretty new and still learning. But from those 4 million items, we've reached nonprofits in all 50 states, over 500 cities, and we are in the US and Canada.
That's amazing. Super awesome. The impact that you have, not just with nonprofits, but helping to stave off the sort of the climate crisis too. So that's excellent. And so before we dive in more on Liquid Donate, we thought, hey, just at a high level, thinking about when you're looking to create a wish list, right? And one of the first things to do is identifying what is it that you actually need. A lot of you know this intuitively, right? There's here's my sort of list. But if you haven't done this exercise yet, right, I think there's a lot of benefits to creating a wish list, right? So the list for the organization is both for yourself to understand, like, hey, here's what what we need, but you can align those to your organizational goals, right? So like, what is it that we want to achieve as an organization? What is it that we need to achieve those, right? It helps with administration, right? So administrators have easier time to arranging and organizing gifts, right? The logistics of sorting out unsolicited donations can be sort of difficult if you don't have a list of, hey, we actually do need this or we don't need this. And so we're going to maybe pass it on to another nonprofit. And if you have a wish list, you don't end up with junk, right? Things that you don't actually need. People are more likely to give you the things that you want and need. So that's pretty terrific. And last but not least, right? So there might be folks that want to support you, but they're not sure what to actually give you. And so from a sort of gift giving perspective, not everyone's great at it or as thoughtful. And so if you have a wish list, this can be a good way to give them some guidance, right? And so, yeah, I'll toss it sort of back to Renee in terms of, what are the different types of physical goods that you might want to think about too.
Awesome. So as Gunn said, we'd like you to think of how you can leverage tech to get what you need, whether that's to serve your clients or fulfill your mission, but also for your operational needs. So items that you might need just to run your everyday organization, office supplies, office furniture. Program needs is more to do with what you're trying to accomplish. I think that one's pretty self-explanatory, either the direct needs of your clients or items that are priority for your wish list. Seasonal needs, we've seen many needs change throughout the year, sometimes more than others, depending on what your organization does. Sometimes holidays spike a lot of funding and a lot of gifts from donors, but maybe in the summer you see a drop. So letting us know the seasonal changes and how your needs adjust depending on what time of year it is important. And then events and special occasions, especially for fundraising events or donor thank you events or other parties, party supplies, food needs, all of that kind of thing can also be a part of what types of items that you may be looking for. As I mentioned before, we receive lots of different types of items. We're working with many different categories. We see two main types. One is overstocked or bulk goods. So that might be goods in pallets, furniture, maybe an office is liquidating because everyone's going to remote work, those kind of larger scale, larger quantity. And then we also work with customer returns. So those may be more one-off items or smaller shipments. They correspond to different item categories that you register with on Liquid Donate. And that would be ongoing throughout the year as people are always shopping online. So I'll show you now how our registration process works and how you can pick the items of categories to match exactly what you need. All right, so this is an example of our sign up page. It's very simple to sign up. To create an account, we just ask for your contact information to start. The reason why we have a mobile phone number here is for individual donations, which I'll touch on in a second, but you'll be matched with the donor via masked SMS text message. If it's a retail donation, you're matched via masked email. So we just ask for the mobile phone number to start with in case that's a donation from an individual person. So name, phone number, email, password, create the account. It sends a quick text verification, which I will enter right now. All right, and then you simply choose nonprofit, type your organization name, and then we ask for your EIN, which I'll just do a fake one right now. An address, I'm in Nashville, and I'll do I'm thinking of a public building I can do. Tennessee Titans practice feels great. We can accept items in pallets, yes or no. This just helps with our matching algorithm if we do have bulk items. If we totally understand capacity and storage space can be an issue for many folks. So if you can't accept pallets, that's totally okay. It just helps us know it a little bit better. Focus area. You can pick up to 3 of these areas. So I'm just going to pick 3. And same with population served. This helps us put this information on your optional public profile, which we'll also show in a little bit. And then you could type your mission here as well. And here are the categories of items. So this is how our matching algorithm works. When an item is uploaded for our free marketplace, it's categorized by what type of goods it is. And that is how you get matched and notified if something that you've picked has recently been posted. So you can pick, maybe I just want home and outdoor, all these office supplies, all these pet supplies. Maybe I only work with dogs. This is totally customizable. And if you can accept just about anything, you can click all and have all these categories. And then how did you hear about us? Word of mouth, and accept our terms and conditions. And that is all you do. That error came up because I've already registered since this is just a test. But you'll receive an email verification right after this. And if you click that link, you are all set to use our marketplace.
Going, you're on mute, but I'm going to go ahead and talk about some of our recent donations that we want to feature. And we want to highlight a few of these donations and spotlight the variety of goods that we've seen donated on Liquid Donate so far. We are category agnostic, which means we can move anything and find unique ways to work with large retailers and small businesses alike through ongoing partnerships or one-time donations. So in the photos from the left to right, You'll see a few. The first is a donation where we worked with a cookware brand in San Francisco. And what was unique and interesting about this donation is that the cookware brand incentivized their customers to drop off gently used cookware to be donated in exchange for retail coupons. So they're able to exchange those ultimately for coupons to purchase new items. And those pots and pans were donated to a nonprofit in the area. Next, we are partnered with a furniture company, Room and Board, which is a popular furniture company in the US. And we see various donations from Room and Board. And one piece in particular, as seen in the photo, was recently donated and matched with a community theater in the area. They repurposed the piece to make a beautiful addition to a set. I think it's an awesome example of maybe something that's, a furniture piece that they didn't necessarily say, hey, let's use this armoire, but they can repurpose it and make use of it to fit their needs. Next, we worked with a company that had overstocked walkers where we sent these to a low-income senior center. Many of the recipients, woman seen in the photo, at the senior center, they're not able to afford to purchase them on their own. So they were thrilled to see the donation come in-house. And then last is a very large donation we did recently with a popular brand of snacks. And these snacks were short-dated, meaning grocery stores could not purchase them because it was too close to the expiration date, but the goods were still fine to be eaten. And we moved truckloads of these snacks to organizations across California with a variety of focus areas, including youth services, organizations that work to feed the hungry, children's summer camps, and many more. And we're continuing to work with this brand to donate more goods as well in the near future. So yeah, a couple of examples, and I'm going to go ahead and pass it back to Gung.
That's awesome. And just so everyone remembers, right, I think you mentioned for nonprofits, signing up is free. Is that right, Corey and Renee? Right. And so it doesn't cost the nonprofits anything to receive any of these goods, which I think is important to reiterate again. And so one of the other things that we're going to highlight today is building out that wish list, right? And so both for Liquid Donate, obviously they are essentially working off of a wish list that you have sort of from your system, but perhaps you want to create a more specific wish list. And so, I know in the past, there's been a couple platforms out there already. So if you're in education or schools, there's a platform called Donors Choose. If you're in animal welfare, Chewy has a wish list that you can use. But really for across all causes, as far as I know, right, you can use Liquid Donate that has also its own wish list. So yeah, maybe we'll have Renee coming back to you in terms of sharing a little bit more about the wish list that you all can support.
Thanks, Gun. Yeah, we're really, really excited about our wish list feature because it's new. We've definitely heard feedback from our nonprofits that something more specific would be really helpful, something shareable that's not just internal to our product, but that can be shared publicly would be really helpful. So I will share my screen again and show you what this looks like on our platform. All right, so this view is from if you are a nonprofit that has already registered and you are looking at your wish list over here. These wish list items can be completely customizable. So we'll add a new item now and go through this process. I think I saw in the chat that someone wanted cameras. So we'll go with that one. So we need cameras for videos. And category would be electronics. Let's see. We'll put it under laptop or accessories for electronics. And maybe we'd like a couple. If you have a specific camera in mind, you can put the link to that product there. Whether that's from another store, that's totally fine. If you're just looking for something in general, or maybe you can be more specific in the item description, video cameras, then you can just click similar item. So add the item added successfully. And now we have it down here, video cameras. So what this looks like then, if you want to share it publicly, we use this share button here. And you can copy the link or share to any of these social platforms. And this is what it looks like publicly. So when you signed up, you have your mission will be on the About Us, your focus areas and population served that you picked, and then your wish list items that folks can click on to learn more. And if someone comes to this site publicly that you shared and says, you know, I've got a video camera I can give them, they can click right here and start donating it right away. And then you'll be notified that something from your wish list is now available.
That's awesome. Excellent.
And then just one more quick thing to mention. I've spoken about how sharing these wish lists publicly is really helpful to show what you need. But on our end as well for Liquid Donate, it's helpful for us to see the specifics of what you need for when we reach out to our retail partners and where we can get donations from. So showing us what your high priority items are is helpful for us to go to a store and say, you know, we've got lots of organizations that are looking for video cameras, and we believe that you might be able to help with this. So kind of goes both ways, whether that's sharing to individuals or to retailers.
Yep. And I'm sure, you know, one of the questions folks might have is, you know, these, you know, video cameras, a pretty large ticket item. And so, you know, are you able to provide donation receipts? And I think, Corey, you know, we chatted about this before, but that's also something you all provide, right?
Yeah, that's correct. So I'm going to show essentially the last piece of the donation process. And that is the donation receipts. So when you order a donation on Liquid Donate, you're going to have the option to pick it up, to have it delivered or even shipped to you, depending on the item and where it is coming from. And once you confirm that you have received the item, we have built a new process to integrate the donation receipt within Liquid Donate. So once you've received the item, you're going to receive an email via DocuSign with the donation receipt. So I'm pulling up an example here. And this is the same text as seen in the email. But the donation receipt is pretty straightforward. It's going to have the your nonprofit organization information. This is just my test nonprofit name, EIN, and address. The donor information as well, as you'll see, it is blank, but you'll have the name of the retailer or the donor who donated the item, as well as the information of the items that you received. So in this use case, I was just donating an office chair with the fair market value. We understand that is a important piece of information to share. The fair market value, as I'll show in a little bit, is going to be provided by the donor. So that will be filled out already. And then lastly, just the chance for you to sign as well. So I'm going to go ahead and adopt a signature, your title and all of that, and then you'll go ahead and select finish. I'm gonna thank you. And it is easy as that. That donation receipt will then be sent to the donor, so they have a copy for their records as well. But it is all done in-house, and trying to make it as easy as possible for the recipients as well.
Awesome. And so, yeah, I think, you know, that's, again, super amazing. Usually we don't do as, you know, as much sort of demos as this presentation, but I thought, you know, given just how much value you all are bringing to, you know, organizations, I think this is going to be super helpful for a number of organizations. And so the other thing, you know, that that folks might think about is, you know, now that we have a wish list, you know, we want to share this with different folks. So, you know, who are the right folks to share it with? And that's a little bit right. And this is why we have different partners like Liquid Donate, right? And so from Civic Champ standpoint, right, one of the things that we do uniquely well is that, we're able to check in your volunteers, we check them out. And at the end of a check-in, right, which is what you're seeing here, we actually collect feedback from folks, right? And one of the things that you can note is whether they're happy or not. And if they are, right, optionally, you can ask them for a donation. But the other thing you can do, right, is you can pull that report on the back end, and those are the folks that maybe you share a wish list with, right? So deepen that engagement with that volunteer, especially if they, have been volunteering, and doing something that's related to the wish list items that you have. So maybe they're at the restore, right? If you're a Habitat, or maybe if you're at a resale or a thrift store, these are all great places. And so on the back end for us, right, this is a list of all the different folks who might have volunteered for you. They have their reflections that you can see that we're recording, but also, whether they're happy or not. So you can see this little frowny faces, the happy faces. And so you're going to be able to sort of filter for that. You click into the filter, you go to reactions, and you can filter for people that are very satisfied, right? So folks that maybe are your super volunteers or champions, if you will. And that's a great way, again, to sort of leverage, technology to identify the folks who you want to, share your wish list with, and then using something like Liquid Donate for the rest of that process, right? And so the next part that, I think we wanted to cover today is really, communicating the impact your volunteers have is super important, right? And so this is also true when it comes to wish lists. And so, now that you've shared your wish list with them, it's great to circle back and say, hey, here's the impact that your in-kind donations have had for us, right? And so here's an example, from Liquid Donate in terms of impact report, but I'll let Renee talk more about this since obviously it's their platform.
Yeah, so we definitely understand that metrics are really important to telling the story of your organization's impact, and we want to be helpful in that process and provide the data that you need. So just some examples of what we keep track of and what we can report on: fair market value, the total value of the items that you've received; pounds diverted from the landfill, which helps show that you are part of a better environmental outcome for these goods; and then number of donated items and number of donors. So I think that could be helpful to show maybe future goals around what type of support you'd like to see, maybe taking a look at how you've activated your volunteer and support network, and if they've also become donors of items, not just donors of their time. And really just, reporting and sharing your story. And whether you need this on a monthly basis or an annual basis or quarterly basis, whatever your cadence is, we hope that we can be a part of that strategy to give you the information that you need and make it as easy as possible.
All right. One of the last pieces that I'm going to touch on today is just the impact of building your local circular economy and by adopting the circularity approach and how that can support organizations in your area. So we like to share with nonprofit organizations that utilizing Liquid Donate to support your needs does not have to be exclusive to receiving donations through the free marketplace. Your organization might have goods which you no longer have use for, and by donating those through Liquid Donate, it will allow you to give those items another life, while also directly benefiting another organization within your community. As a registered nonprofit, we do give a 50% off discount for donating all items. The price to donate items depends on the quantity, the size, and a few factors like that. But donations are very easy to upload, and we have a tool which I'll do another quick share. And I think it also highlights the information that we collect. So as you're reviewing the free marketplace, you're able to see the details. But as you can see here, this is what the donation tool looks like. We ask for few key required features such as the name, category, the unit, being, is it a single item, pallet of goods, or a box of items? Optional.
Corey, can you screen share?
Oh, yes, thought I was. Is that working now? Awesome. Okay.
Yep.
That's going to be saying 3 years into this, still having troubles. So yeah, this is what the tool looks like for donating items. And all this information is shown on the free marketplace when you're looking at items. So if you're looking at a furniture piece, and if the donor provides the details such as the size, you'll be able to see that to see if it fits your needs, the fair market value, the condition, the goods. We have quite a few options, description, and then photos. But we make it easy as that. And then that information is shown as well. So again, we do provide a 50% off discount for donating the items. And yeah, we encourage the nonprofit organizations to think of this when browsing the free marketplace. As Renee mentioned earlier about the types of goods that you might be looking for, there might be items where you have an intention to only use it for a short period of time, whether that's for an event or a special project. And just to find a purchase for goods like that might be difficult. So another great use for Liquid Donate is that you could claim those donations, use them for that short period of time for the event or project, and then donate them back on Liquid Donate to re-enter the circularity economy. So we're always thrilled to see a donation re-enter the marketplace and go to another organization to put it to use once more.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. Again, building upon your ability to help with recycling, reuse, right, in the sort of circular economy. And this might be, this might help answer one of the questions folks might have had, which is, how does Liquid Donate make money, right? And so this is, it's all the goods are free to the nonprofit, but for the folks that are donating, like the retailers, or maybe it's larger nonprofits that have extra goods, there is a fee sort of subscription to process their donations, and that's how the organization makes money and support all the great things that they do, right? And so hopefully today, right, in terms of learning takeaways, we covered the importance of identifying different types of free goods that you can yes.
I think you want to share your screen.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Again, let's see here. Share screen too. This is one of the challenges of toggling back and forth, I guess. So one of the things, so in terms of learning takeaways, right? So we looked at the different types of free goods, right? So having some examples for you all as nonprofits, ranging from design and recruiting tools that you can use to, the Google Suite, including ads that you can use for recruiting, and then of course Liquid Donate as a tool for your wish list or to get donations generally of physical goods. We looked at why it's important to communicate those needs to your volunteers, right? And how the benefits of having a wish list beyond just getting the free goods. Right. And then our friends at Liquid Donate, Renee and Corey, talked about how you can report that impact and mission back to your volunteers and your donors as well, and how you could potentially contribute even further by donating your goods back to other nonprofits. And so, hopefully you all enjoyed the presentation today. We also have a number of freebies I wanted to share with you all. So we'd like to end every webinar with a few of these. But before we dive into there, this is just my contact information in case you want to learn more about Civic Champs or you want to stay connected. Feel free to reach out on my LinkedIn. I'm always excited to connect with new folks from nonprofits. We also have information for our friends at Liquid Donate. This is their contact info. Again, all of this is going to be shared back with you all. So we might, we'll also put this in chat as well. And then for Liquid Donate, they are also offering a freebie themselves. So I don't know, Renee or Corey, do you want to talk a little bit about this?
Sure. So it's always free to sign up with us, but we also want to welcome you with a special welcome gift. So we will send a free donation to your organization if you register with us. In general, though, donations on the marketplace are always free. So we are all about the freebies and check us out to register. The link is right down there to create an account.
You'll get something right away, which is just great. And then for Civic Champs, for folks that are on this webinar today, we're offering 25% off of subscription for us. This does expire in a month, so on July 20th. But in order to activate that, if there's a link here, you can sort of book a time for a demo with us and then to claim this discount. And then upcoming webinars. So we are doing weekly webinars nowadays. And so they're always at the same time, same date every week. So Thursdays at 1 p.m. Eastern or 10 a.m. Pacific. And so upcoming topics we have. So next week, we're partnering with an organization called Instrumental. And it's going to be covering 4 game-changing ways to use volunteering metrics for grant success. Right. So a lot of folks are oftentimes, submitting for grants. And I think volunteer metrics can be a great way to increase your chances of winning those grants. On the week of, the first week of July, we're working with another partner called CauseVox. And so turning your volunteers into super supporters, best practice for donor and volunteer engagement. So join us for that session on July 6th. And then July 13th, actually, it's not a webinar, but in case you've never watched it, there's the nonprofit show that's around the same time. And so that'll be more of a conversation between myself and some of the hosts on the future of technology in volunteer management. So we'll dive into some of the trends that we've been able to see. Folks often think about AI, and ChatGPT, and so how might that impact volunteer management? And so hopefully I'll see some of you at these upcoming webinars or shows. And beyond that, would love to open it for any sort of Q&A or questions that folks might have. Feel free to come on mute if you want to ask over voice, or feel free to put it in chat as well if you have any questions. And thank you, Elizabeth, for the kind words. Yeah, any questions from anyone in terms of how Liquid Donate works? Or, I mean, it's pretty straightforward, which is sign up and you get free stuff, right? So doesn't get too complicated there. Are the donated goods allowed to be resold in restores? Yes, Renee, you want to cover that one?
Yes, definitely. We are currently working with a few restores across the country and definitely understand that model of reselling donated goods to raise funds for other programs. If there is a donor who has more parameters about who their donation can go to, whether that's prioritizing schools, or if they want to donate to specific organizations that align with their work, whatever that focus area might be, it will say that specifically in the item description that the recipient is under donor final approval. So we try to make it as clear as possible if there's any restrictions like that one mentioned, but restores, resale stores in general, definitely welcome to register if you're a nonprofit.
Yeah, awesome. I don't see any other questions in the chat. So again, thank you everyone for joining us today. Hopefully you got a lot of value out of this. I certainly enjoyed having Renee and Corey on with us. We were so excited to share Liquid Donate with you all because I know this is going to be super impactful for a number of nonprofits. So thank you all for joining, and we'll hopefully see you next week.